It's your boy Noah, aka Daddy, aka Furry Killer 69. Before we get into this video, how y'all doing today? I'm doing great. Make sure y'all grab y'all blunts, y'all snacks and shit, you know what I'm saying? Make sure you leave a like if you fuck with the video, and let's get straight into this. So the story starts off on a regular school day for me. Everything was going good that day, and I hadn't gotten in any trouble. So me and my boy Austin, who's been in many of my stories before, were walking home like we always did. He would walk about 10 minutes to his house, and I would walk about like 15 minutes, and then we'd split like halfway. So we're walking back home, and about 5 minutes into our walk, we see this kid, and I realized who it is off the bat because back in the 5th grade, he had slapped me, and he was our typical gay dude in our school, and he was a grade above me. So for the sake of the story, let's call him Daniel. We saw sus boy Daniel walking down the street, and we didn't think nothing of it. So we're walking past him, and just as we pass, he screams "niggers" at us. Like, what the fuck? So I turn around and I'm offended as fuck. It's one thing to say the N-word, but the hard ER, that's a no for me, bro. I don't fuck with that. So I try to press this man, and Austin is mad too. But before we could get to him, he had already ran away and gotten into his house because Daniel had only lived like 5 minutes away from the school. So Austin and I walked back to our house thinking about how we should address the situation. And on our way back, we both agreed that this nigga needed to be beat up. So we both get back to our houses, we shake up and shit, you know what I'm saying? Then I walk back towards my house. And as I'm getting back inside, I see Daniel on his bike, and he shouts the same thing at me again. He's just like, "nigger." And then at this point, I'm tight as fuck because I get back home and I call Austin and I tell him all the shit he said, and I let him know what's gonna be happening. I'm talking my shit when I get home. I'm texting this man Daniel, telling him he gonna have to come miss me with that shit, all the cuss words that could come out of my mouth. I'm talking my shit in the DMs. So I'm on the phone with my ex-girlfriend, telling her all about it. And actually, her and Daniel were best friends. Like, he was pretty much her gay best friend. So she was trying to calm me down, but I wasn't having it. So the next day rolls around, right? And once again, me and Austin are getting out of school, walking back home. And finally, we see this man, Daniel. We start chasing this man, bro. Like, we chasing this nigga far down the street. And pretty much, like, he's running away, right? And he hops on his bike. I'm about out of breath, bro. Like, I was in sports at the time. Like, I was a natural athlete, but shit, that shit was fucking hurting. This man, Daniel, was fearing for his life at this point because he got lucky as fuck. Because if he wasn't on that bike, he wouldn't have ended up gotten away, and we wouldn't have got tired. And on top of it, it was cold as fuck that day, bro. And my lungs were burning like a bitch. That shit killed me. Me and Austin had ended up giving up that day, but oh no, we weren't done yet. So we headed home and the day rolls around, right? On this day, our school had a pep rally, and they were gonna be letting the students out early on this day. I let Austin know what's going down, and we leave like 5 minutes earlier than we were supposed to. We wait down the road for Daniel to take his happy ass by his house, and we wait. Daniel was nowhere to be found until we see him riding his bike down the street. That's when we knew what was going down. So me and Austin start sprinting down the street where we see Daniel, who doesn't even see us yet. By the house, we see he's waiting for his friend or some dude to come out. I don't really know, but we had cornered him and he had nowhere to go. So I tell him, "Hey, little dude, come take a walk with us." And he ended up agreeing nervously, and he walked with us. As we getting away from the house, I let him know he about to fight us both right now. I told him that he gonna get me first round, and he gonna get Austin the second round, or we gonna slap the shit out of him. That's what we told him. As I'm pressing this pussy ass nigga, he talking about he got a knife in his pocket, like that scary shit was gonna scare me. So you know what I do? I slapped the shit out of him, and so does Austin. Just as we about to fight this nigga, tell me why a bus pull up right next to us, honking her horn, talking about what's y'all boy's name. Like, bitch, don't be worried about my government. At this point, Austin dips because he don't want to go to jail. But I just look at her and laugh and put my head down and I walk away. And as I'm walking away, she's screaming shit, talking about I'm gonna call the cops and shit. And as soon as I get away from the bus, I start taking turns and shit through yards, trying to make it back to my house so I don't go to jail. I get back in my house, finally. They had already called the cops and my school. Since they had no proof, the cops couldn't do anything. But the school believed them and told me not to come to school the next day. And you know what's really funny? The way they had ended up getting my name, it was my cousin who told on me. Like, he had ended up, no, it was she actually. She had ended up ratting me out to the bus driver and told her where I live. What a bitch. So for the rest of the day, I had went go do some community service and I just kicked it back at home. If you like this story, make sure you leave a like and subscribe for more stories like this, and I'm out. Peace.
Maybe drugs